What's up, y'all? LTJ Regis here. This is Throwing Light, and if you're not throwing light, you're not acting right. Before we get started, you know what's going on. You know the new thing. I need y'all to go to my YouTube channel and subscribe, so you're getting all the Throwing Light content right at your fingertips. The Throwing Light tour. As of this episode, we're headed to San Francisco this Saturday, so we're going to be having that pretty well. Just know that we're going to be having a panel at Austin Geek Weekend. And keep in mind that I will be doing the POC panel at IML this year. So we'll have more details about that coming soon. If you don't know how to get to my YouTube channel, you can simply follow this YouTube clip here if you're watching from YouTube on Facebook, okay? If you're watching me on Instagram, you can go down there. There's a link, but quite honestly, you can go and put at LTJ is here, just like my Instagram in YouTube, and you should be able to find me. Your guest, this is a great transition. So our guest is Ray Mee, who is in New York. He is a leather person. Pronouns he, him.
Him. Yep.
And Ray was gave me the honor of being on the Throwing Light New York panel. Thank you so much for making that happen. Weather tried to get in the way, but we pulled it off. It was phenomenal getting to meet you, and it was so great to finally get Asian representation and such strong and proud Asian representation on our panel. And I loved how you talked about history. But enough of your introduction. Let's kick it over to Ray Mee here. How are you, handsome?
All right. Thanks for introduction. Thanks for having me here. Really excited for our conversation today. Just a quick introduction to the audience that is watching this recording. So my name is Ray. I'm definitely a leather person, pronoun he, him, based out of New York. So get a honor to join the in-person panel talk in January, right after a big snowstorm. But we had that session at Eagle. The vibe is pretty warm there, even though it's chilly outside. So being the leather community more extensively in the past 2 years, I will say, been building different initiatives for New York local activity and also online for kind of global Asian leather people representation and visibility. So yeah, looking forward to share my stories. And again, thanks for having me here.
Ray, what I'm so glad that I have met you, and you feel like you would be such a strong ally to have. You have a great presence, but and you wear leather well. I mean, you are, you are the real deal. And you're active and you're continually doing things. It sounds like you are pretty active as I am, and making sure that the community stays um together. I mean,
Yeah.
I look, I'm always going to champion someone that likes to bring people together. I can relate to that. Before we get into more of that, how'd you get involved?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I think my first time going to the leather event was in 2019. So that was how many years ago? 7 years ago.
Mhm.
I went to IML in DC. Back then, I was a rookie in the leather community. So I saw people wearing full leather, the glove look, the uniform, but I only had one harness. That's the first leather piece I had. So I wear that plus other mix in the venue. So that was the first time that I actually saw kind of quite different horizon and quite different community. And then like the time I started to get more serious was actually after I attended Mr. Eagle NYC in 2024. I was between jobs at that moment, so I was pretty involved. Went to the Eagle quite often. I was watching the contest. I feel that's definitely very different experience. So it seems like, and I start to order my leather outfit, so I get my first full bluff look, apply for my bluff number, and that was not too long ago. That was like maybe 18 months ago, surprisingly. And then from there, I think that I have a pretty accelerated trajectory because the moment I have a second skin, naturally give me more confidence. And then I start to get more involved, that ease some of the nerve I have when I'm talking with other people. And that in return help me understand how people are, what challenges people are navigating this community. And then like in the past year, what I've been doing is building platforms or enlarge existing platform or build a net new platform if there's no platform at all. So I can make people together, bring people together, people show up. That's the most important part, right? Regardless how much education or staying you have, the more interaction like we have with each other, the more intimate relationship we can build. So I think that's definitely yeah, that's a very long-winded way of saying answering a question.
Well, look, this is what's interesting to me. Okay, did you say that it's been just 2 years that you've been this active? Okay,
Yeah,
well,
thanks.
you're a newbie. Like I make 4 years in August of 2026. And you said that you're accelerating.
Yeah,
Okay, I love that. I effing love that. Okay, because that is how I have felt in terms of my journey. Because look, I'm telling you, I would think just by seeing your presence and seeing what you do on social media that you've been doing this for a minute, but you are making a huge impact. So you should be really proud of yourself, and especially with that amount of time. Um, and I have mad respect for you because I'm a newbie too in a lot of ways still. So I have mad respect for that, and it makes sense to me now. So you competed for Mr. Eagle NYC, right?
last year. Yeah,
Last year, you
yeah.
got runner up.
Yes, second
Okay,
runner-up.
so this is so crazy. You know, the whole thing that's really been generating for me and my peoples are elevating people that don't have titles, and you are doing the work. You're here. You didn't need a title to be here. I'm just letting you know that. I'm here because of your presence, your work, your demeanor, your energy, your attitude, your drive, your ambition. I love it when someone matches my ambition. I think you match mine.
Yeah,
I
appreciate
want,
that. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. I saw you very inspiring. I see you're doing things that doing the kind of broader goodness to the community. So really appreciate that. And also inspire me to think about what I should do as well. So I think that's a definitely positive feedback loop.
that's an honor for you to say that. But I would love to continue and to work with you on more projects. I want to go back to what you said is second skin. Huh. You know, I had a conversation about, being a leather person and how that's a second coming out. And to have
Hmm.
a second skin, that's such a I think of my leather as like a superpower,
Hmm.
like
Yep.
I mean, like they're just different. Look, when you're vibing and you want to be strong, you're going to put on your full leather, you're going to get on the boots, all that. I wear a lot of light leather too, but there's certain things. I tried to explain it to an elderly white man that said I had a beautiful mom, which was fascinating because he's like, he's a white man. So, and we were talking about this though, and I was talking to him about the ability to be one whole person as a leather person, to be
Hmm.
able to be authentically leather in that space and outside of that space.
Right.
Do you include leather as like as a part of your complete identity?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Actually, from last year, I started to wear my leather vest to work. And then I guess some interesting question from colleagues. They're just curious about the vest. So I explained to them, here's the leather vest. There's a pocket on the side, so it's easy to put my stuff there. Nothing so unique as the material. Plus, I wear a leather jacket quite often to events. So
Well, it's
people
New
kind
York
of,
too.
hmm?
It's New York too. I mean, it's cold up there.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Even like last weekend, I was on subway with my full bluff look. There's no one even looking. So New York is, well, I think I kind
Oh,
of it's a it's a blast here because people don't really care about anyone else, especially around Times Square area. People see people with different shape and form. So I think I'm blessed that in that way in this environment. But me myself, yeah, I do identify myself as another person in daily life as well. So. I do usually try to have some leather pieces every day, a vest, a wristband, or maybe, or even sometime when I'm working from home, I wear leather pants.
do you
Even though
have
it's not
to?
showing in the camera, but it still feel that.
Oh, do you have to? Have you ever had to explain your life to a non-leather person? To like
No,
not just say non, let's move out of our community into
right.
the heterosexual space because I try to explain this out without the sexual part, even though that
Hmm.
is, and I try to say it's responsibility. Like we try to teach our people how to avoid the negativity that sex can bring into someone's life, right?
Right. Yeah.
I think people stereotype us as sexual, overly sexual beings just for talking about it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Have you ever had
Yeah.
difficulty talking about your leather life to someone that's not a, that's outside of our community?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I've been thinking about that. I feel like I might be self-selective. So there are two separate parts, right? Like professional relationship, colleagues, I would talk about work most of the time. So
Right.
no one's actually asking about my like preference or kinks or anything related that is not related to work. And personal life, I feel like selectively, I don't really have that many straight friends anymore. So most of my friends are at least in the LGBTQ community, or they are allies or supporters, and they see everything I post on social media. So my Instagram is not private. So that become my daily style. I post stories, post and reels. So people know that's kind of what I like and passionate about. And also, they feel it's cool. It's a cool outfit, like leather uniform. I think that's why it's attracted to me. Is it does look good. I feel good and confident when I'm wearing that, right? I think that attitude is carried through my presence online, offline. So I do sometimes go to Broadway with my full bluff look with my partner and his friends, which is a group of Chinese friends, and they're all wearing very casually, and I'm wearing full bluff and we walk on the street, they all understand. They don't really have additional comments beyond that. I like leather pants, motorcycle gears. Um, but it's cool that we're walking as a cohorts and people on the street will comment on my outfit in a good way. And then that's kind of very entertaining to me. Not saying I'm trying to grab all the attention, but when you actually have something that other people want to have interaction and contact point with, that's cool to me. That's kind of a different vibe in New York when like most of the time people don't care about each other on the street. But now one of a sudden you make connection with others through a specific channel and bridge. That's a very minor point, but I think the bigger bridge I can bring with when I'm in leather or wearing what I like to wear is actually a deep connection with people in the community, which is actually most part of my life at this moment. But your question is about non-leather communities, I will stop at this point.
Well, look, okay, so there's some other things I want to get into. I think that you have a lot of great leather and things like that. I don't want to quite shift to this subject yet. So let's go a little bit backwards. Do you think you'll compete again?
That's a great question. So I think you mentioned that, and that's my take as well. The title is not really a requirement for you to do things, right? Even before I compete, that's one thing I get from Tom Cam, Mr. Leather, Mr. Eagle NYC 2019. So when I was trying to get some coach from him about what should I do in order to prepare for my contest last year, and what he told me was, Ray, don't think about what you're gonna what don't think about what you're gonna win. Think about what you're gonna do and how much impact and influence you have to the community, right? So I think from there, that's definitely plant a seed there. There's a spark in me that I need to do something. The more I do, the more I can make a positive impact and the community will get better and there will be more people wanting to do it and then the community get larger and larger and our like boundaries getting bigger and bigger and we can have a more so people can kind of see each other, meet each other, talk with each other, share ideas and insights. So I start to do that. I think I do feel I'm influencing other people on that front as well. um, but having that said, back to your question, yes, maybe. Why not? Because I think one of the inspiration I had before I compete last year was for Mr. Eagle was I went to IML last year. I really enjoy seeing people enjoying themselves on the stage. And it's a big stage. Um, I like big stages. I like if I have a chance to talk or sing or do something, I prefer to be on the big stage with the large audience compared to small interview style 1 to 3, 1 to 4 panel, right? So I do prefer large stage. So that was the inspiration. I was like, yeah, let me compete for it. And then to see if I can be on that bigger stage, more people can see me and I can represent my community in the more visible way, right? So that was motivation for last year. Um, but after the contest, I don't think anything stopped me from keep going, right? So the first thing I actually posted on my social media the morning after the contest night was the next letter dinner, which is the initiative I started in like September. So I start to organize my next event, right? So everything, everything take time to prepare and progress. So you always have things to do now in order to have a better, good outcome in the near future. So I have that mindset and keep doing that. That's why I was talking about this letter dinner I did number five 2 days ago. We get like 50 people from all over the world, like two from Germany, a few from Connecticut, one from Boston, and a few, most of us are New York local people. Um, yeah, that's kind of independent from what award I get on the stage, right? So back to your question, answer is yes, but I don't know when, I don't know which one. But I think it's not stopping me from doing anything I'm passionate about.
Well, I'm pretty sure I told you I got mine on my second try. So I think we talked about that. So when you're ready, the time's right, but keep doing the work. You're doing it. Look, I'll admit to you, I didn't have a resume when I competed my first time. I had ideas. I had hope.
Right.
I
Yeah.
had a lot of I had a lot of ideas. Um, I didn't win my first time, but I had like about 6 months, 5 months until I had an opportunity to compete again. People didn't know me until I stepped on the stage that first time, and then it was like, oh, who's this?
Yeah.
And then I was able to somehow make an impression between that 5 months of me going from running for Mr. Texas to running for Mr. Austin Eagle. And I was able to come back. And just like you said, you're accelerating. I've been, I'm just blessed, fortunate to be moving quickly and learning fast and adapting and growing very, very quickly. I don't know if it's just the hunger inside of me, but from that time of me, Mr. winning Mr. Austin Eagle to now, I've, I it just it's everything's grown exponentially in a way that I've had so much more fun doing my work after my title was over.
Right.
And I've been able to do a lot more now that my title is over. So does a title help you? You make a point. I got to be on the international Mr. stage, and that did make a difference. I've been on three different stages, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But just going there and meeting people and going to, panels, classes, going to the
Yep.
competition, that's a place to make tremendous connections that can be life changing. I
Yeah.
don't know how do you travel a lot?
I domestically, yes, but not a lot, like define a lot. So I travel maybe once every 2 months
Do you
for
travel as much as
either
me?
no, definitely not. Definitely not.
um, um, it's amazing, and you have to go to different cities, different communities, know people, be welcomed, have a seat at the table. So I will say it was leaving the country in October and going to the UK and going into Manchester Leather Weekend, and like, how we have that fish out of water moment sometimes where I'm like, because I'm there by myself. Tom Keller was there. Well, but I
Right.
was, we saw each other and stuff. That was the reason I went. But the times I was alone. But it was so friendly. It was so inviting. I got to meet all these wonderful leather people around England, um, and other places. So, you have that ability now with your social media and everything to be accessible to people,
Yeah.
and find people. Um, so you are a Chinese American?
I would say yes. Yeah. So I'm still a Chinese citizen, but I've been in the US so long that I will have a reverse culture shock when I'm going back home in China. So
When did
yeah.
you come here?
Uh, 2011, I came here for grad school, went to Rutgers for my master degree in statistics. So very very stereotypical path,
Your
I would
degree,
say.
your grad degree is in statistics,
Yeah.
like deviation in math and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Jesus.
Mathematics, statistics. Yeah. So
Yeah,
very
stats. And I've been taking
stereotypical.
stats since undergrad. I like math, but I didn't like all the other formulas and stuff.
Yeah.
Stats. Wow.
That's become my major, and I've been working on this since then. But my job is more pivoting from technical, more mathematical type of work, doing machine learning, data science, now doing AI, selling softwares. I'm now more a salesperson, technical salesperson in the startups. So that's what I do. So I came here 15 years ago. So well, it's been a while. Most of my adult life is actually here in the US. And yeah, and I was
So,
not even outed back then. I actually came out to a close friends 10 years ago in 2016, and this year marks the 10-year anniversary of that, I think. Yeah, it's not so long in my life actually. I'm even out. But from that point of view, leather is a quite significant amount of time since I started to get involved from like 2019 in MAL and those leather events. And I get my leather full bluff outfit 2 years ago and start to get more involved. So everything is on like an accelerated path, I would say.
as an immigrant, you've been here. What makes you want to stay here?
Like recently or at the
What,
beginning?
why did you choose to stay when you were done with school? Why did you stay here?
It's an interesting question actually. So I was debating should I stay or should I go home. I do feel there are more opportunities here. I do want to work in New York. So kind of New York is a dream city for me. So I get closer and closer in Jersey from Edison to Jersey City. And finally, 2 years ago, I moved to the city. Um, so having a life, settle myself independently here is always the motivation. So I'm quite independent person. So I don't really want to rely on my family a lot. So I get quite independent ever since I got graduated. And I want to make something myself, like build a fortune, build my career, professional network, and my own connections with people, right? So I think it's kind of a fresh start for me. So there are like unlimited amount of possibilities for me, and I think that was the reason why I decided to. Plus, the job opportunity has much higher pay compared to if I go home. That's a very, very realistic reason, right? And then gradually, I just get more integrated, and have all my friends network, the people I know, all my connections, the systems, the like even the health insurance, the like 401k, everything is so embedded into this part of the world instead of home. So the only connection I have there will be my parents and my sister, but nothing else is actually there. So my life is kind of rooted here since I kind of get to work multiple couple of years and then set I get settled here. That's why if you ask me if I want to go back now, no, I'm permanent resident. I looking hopefully any time will be like uh, apply for citizenship if possible. But yeah, that's definitely a path for me in my mind.
So, what do you know about Chinese leather culture?
It is, I know a lot actually. So I have a good friend of mine who's in Hong Kong. He's organizing leather events in East Asia quite often. So there will be, so um, in East Asia, I think in mainland China, there's no leather bar. There's no, like gay bar was existing, still exists, but like, the climate is getting downward recently, similar to everywhere else in the world. Um, it's more active in Taiwan and Japan, the leather community, but in Taiwan, because the weather, especially in the south part of East Asia and Southeast Asia, leather is really hard to wear outside. It's very warm. So it's always a mix with rubber and other outfit. So it's kind of mixed skin community. In mainland China, there are a lot of my friends actually in China, there are other people, they will find ways together. So one interesting fact I want to share, according to my friend and also my observation, is their biggest gathering event will be either in Beijing or Shanghai during Halloween, because that's the time people can
Ah,
wear can wear anything they want, and there's no plus. Like if you wear full bluff, it's a very well put together, good looking uniform, right? Most of the time people will kind of mix like naturally blend into the broader theme for Halloween, especially in bigger cities. Plus, Beijing, Shanghai people are pretty open, like especially younger people, so they don't really care about this. So they find their own time period that is kind of less intense. There will be more flexible for them to go out in leather, and also they will usually book a like suite in the hotel and then get some drink and take pictures and have um, some networking events. So that's pretty much it. They need someone to take the lead, to hold the torch, to make things happen. But things are organized pretty organically, I would say.
That's really cool. I think that's great nugget of information for people that are watching this that are just curious and can think outside of where we're at. We're getting close to the end. So typically I ask the same question to everybody.
Right.
What is one aspect of our community that you feel we are not shedding enough light on?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think there are, I have a few examples if I can mention a couple of them. One is that's related to what I talk about during my contest is um, I hope there are more initiatives, including this one, right? So I see examples, but I hope there will be more, like intentional initiatives to record the history of LGBTQ community, especially those small business, gay-owned businesses, the leather shops, and different places that might disappear as time goes by. So have someone to take a lead to have an archive of the existence of the community, leather community, and broadly speaking, LGBTQ community. I think that's that's one area that I think in general it's not lacking, but I hope there will be more initiatives like that, right? For example, the YouTube video that you're posting, all this content you're creating from the interviews, the panel talks, those will be records for people in the future to watch, to follow, for the future AIs to learn from. So there are data points about leather people talking about their life and their community, their experience, their challenges. So I think all those will, because I'm a tech geek, so I kind of feel like the more information we create, the more we can ask either a human or a machine to learn from, right? So I very intentionally creating things that can be visible, more visible by my audience, by my friends and networks, but also can be visible by AI technology. Like that's the future, right? Undeniably, that will be the future. If there's any data for the AI to learn from the other people throughout those contents, the video, the text, the images, that will be good, right? That will reduce as much bias as possible from uh, from a superset of intelligence, basically. Yeah,
That is
that's getting a little bit that's getting a little bit far, but that's
no,
basically
no.
my idea of why do I like to create images and create website and create contents, videos. Those are I do that for purpose.
I totally agree with you. I mean, that's the whole point. I'm like, because you put the information out there, you just, and there are people, I need to go check for it, but as this thing grows and people are going to watch and comment, and people have been watching and commenting. And I think a lot of people think it's cool from what I've seen in the comments. People have had
Yeah,
questions. But everyone has a different opinion. There are some of us that are, not just say leather people, but in the broader LGBTQI plus community that really aren't interested in working together though. So there's like one comment as in like, someone's like, I'm not going to be forced to blah, blah. I'm like, you don't have to be forced to do anything, but I don't see how anyone can um look at unity and coming together as a negative. That's a positive. I mean, that's what's wrong with the world right now, division.
yeah,
And instead of looking for reasons to come together, we look for reasons to separate. And
right.
that's,
Yeah,
we almost do
that's
that now.
Spot on. Oh, well, that's a good reminder. That's another pain point I saw. Even from 2 weeks ago, I organized a webinar or panel talk about the movie Pillion because I see
I've
very
not seen it
divided.
yet. I was supposed to watch it. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah,
I'm
I can
working.
see the recording. Yeah, so it's recorded. So because there are so many divided view about this movie, and even within the community, things are there are very polarized opinion here, and that kind of trigger become personal sometimes if I follow deeper into the conversation between people on that I have access to. So that's why I want to bring up everyone to the same platform and talk about this, right? Hear others in real life, even virtually, it will have a quite significant difference compared to reading a very cold and mechanical text message on the post section, on the comment section, right? So when even though there are completely different ideas in that panel talk, no one is like finger pointing each other. Everyone's like pretty like everyone's listening. Everyone has an open mind, right? And everyone is also chiming in and agree to disagree. Um, I think that's the importance of having the community more united than divided, especially when the community can have different subgroup. They might have it. There's some mechanism that can even further divide the community instead of united. So what I'm trying to do, I think you are trying to do as well, is to put more glue there and kind of fill the gap as much as possible because we have a bigger force we need to combat against as a group instead of wasting the energy arguing against each other within our already very vulnerable group.
I 100% agree with you. All right, Ray. Well, that has been this episode of Throwing Light. Thank you so much. I'm sure there are, I'm sure I'll have you back. There's a tons, but I just want you to know, if I can ever be of any kind of help or be involved in anything or any ideas or you see something, please reach out and let me know. I would love to help.
Yeah.
Um, but there's only one thing left for you to do now. Do you remember what you got to do?
I forget. So remind me. I have a very short memory.
Okay, I'm gonna count to three, and you're gonna say if you're not throwing light, you're not acting right.
Yeah.
One, two, three.
If you're not throwing light, you're not acting right. Woohoo.
That's it. Woo! All right,
All
y'all.
right.
Well,
Well, thanks for having me.
of course, thank you for being here. Has been another episode of Throwing Light, y'all. We are out.